Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 13th. We had the regular meeting of the Grand Rapids Economic Development Authority today. We had a pretty light agenda. We adopted a resolution accepting a grant from the Blandon Foundation for the establishment of the downtown mandated building improvement loan program. We'd like to thank the Blandon Foundation for their generosity as they continue their commitment to the Grand Rapids area. That loan program is buildings downtown, some of the older buildings that have a lot of code compliance issues when remodeling happens. So if you were to buy a building downtown and you wanted to remodel it, you might be stuck with some costs that you weren't expected to incur, such as ADA compliance, fire suppression, just things that buildings that were built 100 years ago or 50 years ago were not required to have. So sometimes we have issues with people that wanted to redevelop a building downtown and they can't afford it because of some of those issues that they just weren't expecting. So they're very specific issues, and this loan program would allow them to take a $50,000 loan from the city. That loan would be forgivable at a rate of 10% per year over 10 years, assuming that the ownership stays the same. If you were to sell the building before the 10-year period is up, you would be responsible for whatever percentage was remaining. They also carry a 2% interest rate. And again, if you hold the building for 10 years, that entire amount of interest would be forgiven. If you were to sell that building before the 10-year period was up, the amount of interest that it accrued would be payable at that time. The other thing that we did is we approved a proposal from LHB to do an analysis, a TIF analysis of the building at 316 North Pokegama Avenue. That TIF analysis is basically to see if that would qualify as a redevelopment plan. So if the building is in such disrepair that in order to remodel it and reuse it would not be feasible without the TIF district. Basically, the project would not happen but for this TIF district. That would allow us to help with that project through tax increment financing. So we'll see what LHB comes up with there, and we look forward to their report. The only other things we talked about, Rob gave us some brief updates. He continues to work with Apadan regarding an apartment complex at our property located by the new elementary school near the hospital. There's some pretty significant gaps there in the funding, and they're continuing to look to the MHFA workforce housing program that should be refunded for the next fiscal year at the state level. And we've also had some discussions, or Rob has had some discussions with IRRB regarding helping to close that gap for workforce housing. So, and I do know that some other commissioners made some comments that the IRRB has heard a lot lately from local communities about the need to have some assistance in developing workforce housing. Rob also noted that he's continuing to work with the YMCA regarding some additional child care slots at the former Kutaska site at the county building. And that was kind of the extent of our meeting. So thank you and have a great day.